In today's Client Spotlight, we're speaking with Alex, who is a dating and relationship coach. Now, prior to joining the Self-Mastery Accelerator, Alex had begun to experience his first business breakthroughs, but was also experiencing the exhaustion that is commonly associated with being in the levels of force. That's how life in business typically is while operating within these lower levels of consciousness. You see, in today's entrepreneurial community, a lot of people are told that they need to apply a lot of hard effort and sacrifice in order to experience the kind of financial and professional abundance that they want. Now, this is only true while operating within this force-based paradigm. Inside the Self-Mastery Accelerator, we teach how to transcend force and raise our level of consciousness into the levels of power. When operating from this higher vibrational frequency, life and business is more effortless. And this is a natural consequence of having done this inner work. So let's dive into this interview and speak with Alex.
So my name is Alex. I live in Austin, Texas, and I'm a dating coach. I help Asian men with their online dating. Yeah, that's what I do.
So talk to us about what inspired you to join SMA.
Yeah, absolutely. So my first few months of business, I had a lot of challenges, and you were there to support me through the FBM, mindset coaching and stuff like that. And yeah, but I kind of realized that about 3 or 4 months into the process, that mindset was going to just be a extremely, extremely important part of this journey, not just for business, but for my life, my experience of life. What I really did not want was to be successful in business, make a lot of money, but to not enjoy my day to day, to not be happy, to be dreading my work, or to feel, I don't know, all sorts of possible negative emotions that people associate with work. I wanted to have the best of both worlds, have business success, but also enjoy the whole process of that. So that's one thing that I really wanted, and that, made me resonate with you and want to work with you. But also the other thing was I've had previous mentors in my life who taught me things about subconscious mind and law of attraction stuff. And that, I've seen those things work, and I realized that I wanted to implement that in the business context. Specifically, we talk very specifically about this, to contract time to achieve goals faster, more fun, more effortlessly, more easily. And yeah, we could speak to this later, but that's happened to the most unimaginable degree, to the point where I don't even feel like things that have happened, to me, for me in the past few months have even been realistic. They don't feel real, which is how that all that stuff is working on a, subconscious level, on a quantum level, which is a crazy world to unlock. So that's my ranty answer to, I forgot what we were talking about, but yeah, why I started working with you.
Yeah, you made some great points, man, that we're going to dive into and unpack further about the effortlessness, the subconscious alignment, and all that. Before we do, it's common for people to have, well, I'll say common, every single time before someone changes, makes a real level up in their life, they have a moment where they say, enough is enough. I'm done with whatever the old behavior is, whatever the previous experience is. I'm going to change. I need to do something different. It's like a line in the sand. Right? You hit kind of a moment in time where you're just something's changing. Did you have a specific moment like that?
For me, the most clear one in recent memory is December 31st, 2021. I called my friend who is also a business owner out of desperation, because I was my back's up against the wall. I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. I don't know if I'm going to end up living in my parents' house for the rest of this year, or how to get out, or, how to start having a normal life again. I don't have a job. And yeah, he just told me some very simple stuff hey, Alex, this is normal. The fact that your back's against the wall means that great things are about to happen. But yeah, just put yourself in the state of already having what you want. Just put yourself there and just watch the magic happen. And he was like, call me back when you make, your first 20K month. And I was like, dude, you're insane. What are you talking about? But that reminded me of some previous, law of attraction mindset stuff that I had implemented before. And I was like, okay, let me just do that again. And from there, my whole vibration switched from scarcity to abundance. And that showed itself in my sales calls. Like I wasn't closing, I wasn't making money, but I was still free of the outcome. If somebody didn't want to work with me, fine. I was still evaluating them to see if they were the right fit, even though I would have loved to close every single client, obviously to make money. And after that, in January, I made like 11.5K or something after having made like 2K in the past 3 months before that. So that was like my first big breakthrough of like, wow, I'm making money now. And my whole vibrational signature has changed. And at that point is when I realized like, I need to master this. I need this to be a solid part of my life. And I need a mentor who's going to, hold me accountable and give me the tools and the support I need to make this a cornerstone of my business and life. Because without it, I'm susceptible to whatever other things out there. Like I want that stability. I want to make sure that this is something that continues to guide me and I master this skill. That's when I reached out to you. Like obviously I could have, just continued trying to do it on my own or whatever, but it's like, why would I do that? Why would I not just like get the person who I think could help me with this, make sure that my business experience is effortless, fun, and way better than it could ever be on my own. And it has. So yeah.
Like you said, collapse time. Like I could do it on my own, maybe if I really put my mind to it. But how long would that take? I don't have the time to waste.
I don't have the time to waste. And why would I put myself through the misery, the torture, the frustration, the confusion when all those things can easily be addressed by somebody who knows what they're talking about. And I don't have to experience those things. I can just get help on them.
Right, exactly. So let's get into the results that you were kind of touching on earlier and unpack more of that and anything else that you want to share in terms of your experience inside SMA though thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of contraction of time, like I set a goal that I would hit consistent 10K months by the end of this year, so 2022. And I did that in my first month. And then I changed my goal to be like, maybe let's do 20K, by the end of the year. And then I hit that in the third month of the year. So I'm like, then I'm just like slapping myself being like, how is this real? Like I even video called you, like to be like, this is insane. Like, I don't understand how these things are happening. And it really makes no sense, right? Because it doesn't make logical sense because we're operating on a quantum level. Things are happening like in a way that's not linear, that isn't explainable. It just literally just feels like miracles. And it's not even like I literally worked less and less every month time. And I spent more time doing other things with friends, gym, like reintegrating my life, even moving out of my house. And somehow my money has gone up. So, that's an amazing effect of this. And then something else, it was on the tip of my tongue. I was going to mention it. And the other biggest thing that I want to mention. So one thing was contraction of time, right? The other thing was just the experience of life and business in general, right? How much do I enjoy my daily existence? How well do I operate on a day-to-day basis? How do I feel every day, right? Am I feeling bad, low vibrations, low emotions, or am I feeling happy, positive, energized, right? And so I used to have like these episodes, I would call them, like negative spirals, about twice a month, where something would trigger me and I would just go down, bad thoughts, go into guilt, shame, whatever. And I would stay there for like 2 or 3 days and I would have to just hope and pray that, something would get me out of it. And I would do like coping mechanisms that, I'm not very proud of and that didn't feel good and that made me feel even worse. I was able to, whenever I sense that's about to happen, I release it and boom, I'm free of it. So like within 5 minutes, 10 minutes of me feeling like I might go down, I don't. then I just continue with my life and it's great, right? It's like just even saving me of those types of negative experiences in life. I think in general, people live to feel good, like the person, I'd rather make 10K a month and feel amazing every day than make 100 million a month, but be in terrible emotional state every single day and just dreading my existence and all that stuff. Like I don't care for that, right? So obviously I want the best of both worlds, but you've definitely helped me a lot with both of those aspects.
Excellent points. One thing I want to highlight is before you had officially joined, we were speaking, and one of the main ways that you were kind of defining your goals at that point was monetarily. Okay, I want to hit this amount within a month or by this period of time and have this consistently. And then once you did, and you mentioned that you called me, right? You called me that day to share with me like basically a new boundary you had broken through, a new level you had reached. And one of the things that we discussed on that call was that you realized after having achieved the monetary goal, it wasn't actually about that in the first place. And it gave you a new level of perspective in terms of what am I actually here doing this for? Legacy, impact, purpose, meaning. It's so common for people to, before they've hit those numbers, that's the only thing they can really think about. It's like, why would I have anything other than that as a goal?
Yeah, but it's funny because if you start with service and impact first, then the money will come as a consequence regardless. So it's almost like if you let go of the money and right focus on delivering well to the people you're serving, obviously the money will come and the money will be great, but it won't even matter so much. But obviously, money's still necessary in this world and it's nice, but it comes as a side effect.
Were there any surprises in so far in joining SMA, things that you encountered that you maybe weren't expecting?
That emotions can be let go of instantly. I always thought it was this thing where you had to like talk out your feelings and like tell all your friends and speak it out for an hour. And like, that's what I used to do. Like I would call my friends and just like let it all out. But what I learned is that like that actually causes you to experience that emotion continually because you're talking about it and you're, thinking about it and you're expressing it. Whereas like if I just let it go, it's actually way more practical and I don't feel it anymore. I don't get like the egoic joy of right, like spilling like all my emotions and having someone be like, oh my God, yeah, that's so bad. Like, yeah, this is terrible. We all agree. And, I don't get that like egoic pleasure anymore, but I do just like feel way better. So I'm like, all right, this is way more efficient. I'll just do that.
You learn how to become empowered, how to control your mind instead of allowing your mind to control you.
Yeah, I definitely feel that because now also I'm more aware of like when I'm about to dip into unconsciousness. So just from like an observing point of view, like I can tell when I'm about to go down and I can immediately first back out, just observe it. And then I can let go of that thing, that event. It applies to so many daily things because on a daily basis, so many things can happen. Clients unhappy, makes an unreasonable request, sales call goes bad, some appointment gets canceled, right? Like all sorts of bad things happen all the time. And now instead of all of them just like ping ponging me like around, just like I'm just flailing around in like a hurricane, I can just like be like, okay, this thing happened, can move on with my day, right? Nothing like deters me that much. I can pretty much just continue on my day, as if nothing happened. Like if I come off a really intense sales call and I thought it was really close, or I thought that, whatever, things didn't go well, or I messed up somewhere, like I don't beat myself up for it. I just learn from it. I can reframe it really quickly. And it's not just this logical thing where like I used to like, okay, be like, okay, logically, I'm going to reframe this situation. And yeah, I can look at it the other way. And that's cool. You can do that. But then I'd be like, I still feel the same. Like I still feel terrible. Like, like the feeling itself is really what I think we as humans, we want to we want to feel a certain way, right? So like it's great to be able to logically reframe the situation positively, but now I've also been able to let go of that negative feeling, so then I actually feel neutral or positive, and I can just move on with my day and not get dragged down and not get, we all have that experience where something happens and you think about it for the next 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever. Whereas nowadays it's like, okay, within 5 minutes of it happening, I just move on with my day. It's not in my mind anymore. It's not in my psyche. It's not in my body. The emotional thing is not in my body anymore. It's gone. So I don't have to continually feel that thing. Um, that's been the biggest thing for me.
If you could speak to the previous version of yourself, what would have been the most useful, beneficial advice to that version of you at that time?
That it's possible to like not feel bad all the time, especially not just like the me like before joining the program, like the me like 2 years ago. Like I remember very vividly all of 2020, my daily experience was terrible. Like every day, I never knew what mood I would wake up in. And if I woke up in a bad mood, that whole day was shot. Like that whole day was going to be terrible. I couldn't work out. I couldn't like talk to people. I couldn't even concentrate at work. I couldn't just function because I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. How terrible is that? And then any little thing would trigger me so bad. A girl didn't text me back for 2 hours, and that boom, I would go in downward spiral, or something went wrong, or this, little thing would like, all these things would like about 50% of my daily existence would just be these like ups and downs of mood swings. Um, and I had no control over it. I had no clue how to get out of it. I didn't know how, I would just have to wait it out. It's like a storm. You just wait it out, hope that you don't die, and tomorrow hope that you wake up on the right side of the bed. Whereas nowadays, for the most part, if I had to put a number to it, it's like 90-95% of the time I feel good. Almost by raising my default level of consciousness and just being aware of that, I think most of the time I wake up feeling fine anyways. And if I wake up feeling kind of funky, I can just observe it. And then throughout the day, there's always little things that are just like challenging me, that this thing comes into my awareness and blah blah blah, and this person said this, and then I got triggered by that thing, but I can just like, it's just like I'm just able to like deflect them. It's like gone, 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 gone. Okay, it's all clear now, continue with my life. And no matter how bad a day is, I don't actually feel bad for that long. Like I'll feel bad for a total of 5 to 10 minutes, and then I can just resume feeling positive, feeling light, feeling happy, feeling free.
And just for context, you've really only been in the program so far, roughly 8 weeks.
Oh, probably even less than that, considering like, I'm taking action on it like very sporadically, randomly here and there. I've really only implemented some of the initial stuff, which really goes to show the power of your program, in that like I literally implemented one technique and I've seen like ginormous results. And for me, like I'm not a person to like just go through a program just for the sake of finishing watching the videos. Like I will learn one thing and implement it as much as possible to like squeeze the juice out of it. And as long as I'm getting benefits from it and I'm still learning from it, then like I don't go on to the next thing just for the sake of it. So I know that once I kind of get like the most juice out of that I can, then I'll move on to the next technique and like kind of incorporate that on top of what I already know. So it's, even just the initial portion of your program has already done all of this. It's like, the rest I'm sure is going to have amazing effects as well.
Finally, what would you say to someone who might be on the fence? Because, so many people will come across these kinds of opportunities and programs and wonder what's beyond, have self-doubt, have some uncertainty. How would you speak to that individual?
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer, honestly. Like, how do you want to feel in your life? It's for me, it was those two things, right? How do I want to feel on in my daily existence? And then do I want to contract time to reach my goals? So in terms of feeling, it's like, it's like, do you want to go through your daily life existence feeling down all the time, groggy, like grumpy, angry, whatever, even worse emotions, guilt and shame like that, which I had a lot of. do you like on a daily basis, do you just want to feel good? Like if that's if that's worth anything to you, like I think the program is completely worth just that. And then in terms of right achieving your goals, like if you master the mind, everything's a consequence of the mind, because you can't build a business if you don't imagine it first in your head. You don't see the results in your head. You can't control like all the things that are happening in your head, because that's where everything originates from, right? Every creation. So you must first master your mind and yourself to be able to create that external entity that is your business or whatever other goal you have. So really, like, you could have all the business techniques and steps in the world, but if you can't control this thing in your head, then none of that will ever come into fruition, or it'll take you a long time with a lot of struggle, and will be a million times harder than it needs to be. So really, it's just I see the mind as like, and the self as the source of all my external results. So even though I have a business mentor, even though I have a dating mentor, even though I have mentors for these areas of my life who give me the steps and feedback and stuff like that, all of those ultimately come down to my ability to implement those things. And if my mind and myself is not trained well, I can't implement those things to the max possible. So yeah, that's what I would have to say.
You are your business. Like, as you said, the external results are always a reflection of who you are.
Exactly.
Alex, thank you so much, man. Congratulations on all your results and success so far.
Appreciate it. Appreciate your support, Zach.